In today's Take a Day, I want to talk about Marcus Morris of the LA Clippers and what we should expect from him going into next season. Before we get into that, please like, subscribe, also hit the notification bell so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. We put out content every day so you won't miss any content here. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into this. Marcus Morris last year averaged somewhere around 13 points a game, give or take 4 rebounds, shooting about 47% from the field. So when you look at that in its entirety, how he helped the team, he did help him, but he didn't help him as much as I thought he would. And, for him to get the $60+ million contract, I just expected more out of Marcus Morris, probably just as much as you did. So this year, going into the season without Kawhi Leonard being there, at least for, an extended period of time, I expect Marcus Morris to maybe up his points a few, and I expect him to have a bigger year than he had the last 2 seasons. And I think a lot of other people, I think I speak for a lot of others when I say Marcus Morris should have a bigger year, and that's something that people should expect if you're a Clippers fan, because when you look at him, there's a lot of games where he looks like he's very, very into it. There's games where he looks like he's just sleepwalking, and for him to be supposedly, well, at one point before Reggie Jackson emerged as the third best player, you thought Marcus Morris would be the third best player. I did too. But when I look at Marcus Morris in a lot of games in the playoffs last season and in the season before that, he has games where he plays really good, but he has games where he's really, really like, space ghost. He doesn't appear when you need him to. And that's just not something that the Clippers need if they're trying to pursue a championship. So to me, my expectation of Marcus Morris this year, if he was averaging 13 points a game last year, I expect him to average somewhere around 17, 18 points a game this year with the absence of Kawhi Leonard, and for him to pick up his scoring load and to play defense a little bit more consistently as well. Now, I don't want to expect too much out of him, because I was going to say maybe 20, 21 points, but I think that might be pushing it a little bit. But I do think he's capable of doing it. I've seen this guy when he was on Boston and other teams where he's played. I've seen him play at a pretty high level, and I've seen him be more consistent. And I'm not sure the reason why. There's times where he looks really good and there's times where he's not consistent. I'm not sure what it is, but I definitely need more of that out of him this season. And the Clippers are definitely going to need more out of him this season, especially with one of their primary superstars down. Now, me personally, I said yesterday in the video that I spoke on, I think the Clippers could possibly be like a 6 or 7 seed going into playoffs. But if Marcus Morris doesn't play up to his capability of how they think he should and what he can do, I definitely could see the Clippers possibly being in a play-in tournament if they don't get the max out of him, because he's one of those players. Sometimes it just looks like when the Clippers are playing, they go as Marcus Morris goes. If Marcus Morris is shooting good from the field, the Clippers usually win. It's just something about that. I don't know if it's coincidence or if it's just actually true, but it's something about when Marcus Morris plays good, the team always usually win. So even though Reggie Jackson has evolved the way he did last year in the playoffs, we still need we still need Marcus Morris to play at a high level, because it is expected of him. It is expected of him to be that player that can differentiate himself from the opposing team's third or fourth best player and initiate himself in a game by putting his imprint on the game so he could be valuable and be valued as one of the top players on the Clippers. And when I think about Marcus Morris getting that $60+ million contract, that's what every Clippers fan thought they were getting. They thought they were getting consistency, rough, edgy, feisty type guy, able to knock down threes, high percentage, free throw shooter, or at least high enough. And, they thought they would get more consistency out of him. But the past couple seasons, I haven't seen the consistency I thought I would, but I'm still not going to back out on Marcus Morris just yet. I want to see what he does this year, but I personally think if he doesn't show out this year or play to the potential that a lot of people feel that he can, I definitely think he might be on the trading block next year, or maybe even mid-season this upcoming season coming up. So I'm not sure, but I expect a better year from Marcus Morris. I expect more consistency, but I also expect in the playoffs for him to mimic and do the same things that he's able and capable of doing in the regular season. But hey, that's my take on the situation. That's how I see it. Let me know in the comment section, do you think Or what do you think of Marcus Morris? Do you think he's going to have a big year this year? Do you think he's going to have a breakout season? Or do you think he's really going to live up to the contract that he was paid by the Clippers and get more consistency out of him? Or do you think he's just going to be the same Marcus Morris that we've been getting the last couple seasons? Here and there, looks like the third best player on the team, looks reliable, but then he goes back into a shell and don't play up to par the way he's supposed to. Like I said, though, leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think, and we'll engage as we always do. And, hey, Khaliis out.